Hello, dear friends. Here we are. Your thought, your life. 30 days of inner journey, and today's day 10. We are here together in this beautiful inner transformation journey. Together, this international spirit center that we have created online. And today, we're studying chapter 10 of this amazing book, Thought and Life, by Emmanuel, the mentor of Chico Xavier. What a beautiful book, a book that has transformed lives and will continue to do so. This book is a book for those who are entering today in this study session. It is a book that allows us to know how to proceed in this life and educate ourselves. We're not supposed to know it all. We're supposed to learn. So, what about our shortcomings, the difficulties we have in our daily lives? Well, we need to keep working on it. And guilt and shame, these are two words that really don't serve a purpose in our lives. And one of the reasons why we're going to read in the chapter today. Our minds are mirrors of life. As we think, these images are reflected in our own mental body, in our spiritual body, and the physical body, creating either health or disease, wellness or sadness, or a state of ill feelings. And we learn that our will is the supervisor and the manager of our minds. Cooperation is essential. Instruction is vital. Education is of the essence. And we learn that without work, without being useful all the time, we cannot make proper associations. And yesterday we were studying about the power of little things, suggestions, mental inductions, and finally today, as we wrap up the first third of this book, which are guidelines for life as we're here incarnated, it's about understanding. Understanding. It feels good already just to listen to the word understanding. Who doesn't need more understanding? No wonder St. Francis mentioned about this in his own prayer. It is in understanding that we're understood. Shall we begin it? Let us say hi to our friends. Let us feel ourselves in this virtual, online, beautiful spirit center in the world. Shall we? Hello, Valéria. It's good to have you here. And Jussara, if you are going to be in Washington, D.C. on Sunday, Jussara Corngold's gonna be there. She's gonna be there in our group that was founded in October, and she is gonna be giving a talk on the Spiritist view on suicide, and in the second part we're gonna be offering fraternal counseling and the passes as well. On Saturday she's gonna be at the Spiritist side of Baltimore at 7:30 p.m. and on Monday she's gonna be at the Allan Kardec Spiritist Society in Rockville, Maryland. Hello, Julija. How are you, my friend? Hello, Adilson and Solange. Raquel, much gratitude. You got the book from Melissa. God bless. And Angelita. Hello, Rihanna. Rihanna, you mentioned you sent me an email. I am not so sure where you sent it to, but if you don't mind just forwarding to me, to kardecradio@gmail.com, I will certainly look, I will read it as soon as we're done with the study, okay? Hello, Melissa. Melissa Missy. Okay, Aidan, you got the book too. Hello, dear friends, here we are. Are we ready? Ready, set, and go. Understanding. Chapter 10. The farmer cannot furrow his fields without a plow. A sculptor uses a chisel to bring out his creative ideas hidden within marble. Likewise, to produce productive mental reflexes, we need understanding as a foundation for the task of our renewal. An understanding that symbolizes dynamic brotherhood, a feeling that is like a magnet in which our best attracts the best in others. All of us are immersed in our own mental waves by virtue of an existing natural circuitry. We classify ourselves as good or bad according to the way we use our feelings and thoughts, which are electromagnetic forces that either protect or hurt, help or damage, vitalize or destroy. They always return bearing the elements of happiness or unhappiness that we had given them. When we are angry, irritated, aggressive, or rude towards others, we instigate rough reflexive action, discouragement and intemperance, cruelty and coldness towards others. On the other hand, whenever we are generous and understanding, being of service and useful to those around us, we create happiness, tranquility, security, and cheerfulness that work in our favor. Life answers us through every creature and everything according to the nature of our call. Until all beings reach cosmic consciousness, they are differentiated by the light that raises them to the pinnacle of evolution, or by the shadows of darkness from the suffering caused by their past. This symbolism works even with humanity on earth. The sun, in its full splendor, is high above us, while the dark abysses are found below. All of us receive inspiration for the future from our Celestial Father, and all of us suffer the repercussions of the past upon our lives. To undo the handcuffs of evil we have forged against our souls, we must seek goodness, feel it, visualize it, and mold it with all the resources we can muster. We can begin by distinguishing the criminal from the crime, just as the farmer sees the difference between the worm and the soil, so that he can lessen the strength of the former and enhance the usefulness of the later. And just as the farmer works to eliminate all blights to save his crop, so must our understanding find the means to help our neighbor who falls into crime. To make ourselves humble in order to help, without diminishing our own heights, is to ensure the improvement of all, and therefore enhance our own progress. However, only tireless dedication to understanding can guarantee us the necessary balance in the task of our self-improvement. We must make it our most cherished dream, for only love, pure and true, can create in our minds the energy of divine light as it radiates from us into waves of constant renewal. Wow. We can already feel the benefits of this message. The harmony of the words, the logics of the text, and the beautiful guidance, the loving educational approach of Emmanuel really brings to us a new feeling and the opportunity of new understanding. Talking about understanding, throughout this chapter, You see, the disciple of Jesus, Emmanuel, learned with the Master, Jesus. Through associations and analogies, we more often than not are going to understand things much better. Each chapter he writes in such a way that he associates the main message with a beautiful image and analogy, almost like a parable, though not so much because it's not a story, but makes us feel transported to a scenario and then back to the understanding. Here he talks about the farm and the farmer, cultivation, harvest, and understanding. From beginning to end, from the first sentence to the last one, he is bringing to us the analogy that to really gain new understanding is essential for us to achieve higher levels of our mental production, being productive. This book, Thought and Life, teaches us how to coach our minds. 1958, way before lots of the New Age movements were really coming strong, the Spiritist teachings were ahead, bringing to us this certainty. But it's so complete, that it gives us the certainty that it's not only about the now, but the life continuum. It's about an everlasting present. In this message, he makes it clear that past, present, and future are merged together. The past is still impacting us on the present, and the present is already creating our future. Thus, the need of working tirelessly into acquiring new understanding. Hello, Rita Di Cassia. Happy to have you here. Much gratitude too. All right. So we're mindful, focused, and prepared. We are prepared to really immerse ourselves in this important and essential message. It's the first third of the book. It's as if we divided the book in three main components. This is the wrap-up of the first one, so we can understand more about ourselves. When we were born, nobody told us, you need to know what you're thinking and work on it. Everybody told us something that was way external, right? More like behavioral consequences already of thoughts. What can we do to teach our children and the generations to come about their thought management earlier than later? Asking this question, what are you thinking, is already a first step. And then pointing to the directions. Feelings. Feelings and thoughts are so deeply associated, and feelings are so much easier to detect that because we feel in our physical body, that through the observation of feelings, we can also go to the source of our thoughts, feelings. And Emmanuel is talking about it too. So let us go back to the very beginning. He says, understanding the farmer. He's saying, you and I have a farm. What is our farm? Our mind. You're the farmer. I am the farmer. And we need a plow to work on it. A sculptor. You're the sculptor of your mind. I am the sculptor of my mind. And he's saying, we need a chisel to bring out our creative ideas into the marble. It's like a writer without a pen. Nowadays, more like a computer, or a tablet, or a phone, an electronic device, right? But without it, cannot write. Without the chisel, the sculptor cannot sculpt the marble. Without the plow, the farmer cannot work on the farm. So he's saying the bottom line, you and I, all of us, have our farm, our minds, the mental field. And we need a particular instrument to really work on it. What is it? He says, likewise, to produce protective mental reflexes, we need understanding as a foundation for the task of our renewal. So, in order for us to really get to the production of mental reflexes, and he says reflexes because as we emit electromagnetic force, we also attract magnet. So, it's as if we are shining a light and life in itself is reflecting it. It's just how it is. We emit, we attract. Law of the mental field, says André Luiz in the book Mechanisms of Mediumship, yet to be published in English. But in that book, he mentions this law, the law of the mental field. I attract what I emit. But let's not forget, life continuum, past, present, and future, together, fused together. So, today, what are you attracting today? Things you may not like? Oh, Vanessa, what do I do so I can attract better things? Plan today and wait patiently, because tomorrow you're going to harvest it. Right now, we need to be very patient. Patience. Are you patient? How patient are you? It's such an important virtue. And let us say these words. I am patient. I am patient. No, Vanessa, but I'm not. Oh, in the eyes of God, you already are. You know how I know it? Because God, as Kardec says in the book Genesis, somewhat in the Spirit book, first part, first chapter, but mostly in the book Genesis, he gives us this beautiful analogy showing to us that God is can see life beyond the limitation of these relative measures, time and space. Okay? God loves us today the same way he loved us yesterday and tomorrow, because there's no time for God. It's a continuum. That's the reality of all of us. And for God, we are already there. If Jesus, the divine representative, could look at Peter and Judas and everybody else, already seeing them past the roadblocks of their egos and in the moment of now, even Emmanuel, when he was the senator Publius Lentulus, he came, talked to Publius Lentulus and said, if you decide out of ego to stay where you are, you're gonna go through millennia of suffering. Not as a curse, but he could see it. But he already saw the one who would work once awake with him side by side. Imagine God. Imagine. So if God, the supreme intelligence, in which we are immersed in our thoughts are immersed in God's thoughts. If for God I'm already patient, I affirm to myself, I am patient. Not creating illusions, but as Emmanuel is going to say, visualizing when we are past this limitation. Now, I may be undergoing through a disease, a financial difficulty, a relationship problem, but I can already help and contribute with greater understanding going past it. Some people are like, oh, I wish I could be out of this scenario. And when you sit down and start, let's visualize it, they're like, oh, but that's too hard. So it's not going to manifest. If it doesn't manifest first in my mind, it's not going to manifest externally. That's exactly the point here. We are farmers. We wake up every day and we have to plow with understanding. He says, foundation for the task of our renewal. An understanding that symbolizes dynamic brotherhood. A feeling that is like a magnet in which our best attracts the best in others. Sincerely, this paragraph here is beyond a revelation because it talks about the mechanism. Often we dream about the day when we come, people feel good, and as they feel good, they also make other people feel good, etc., etc. But the question is, how do we get there? Emmanuel is giving us the recipe. He's saying, we will stimulate the best in others when we work on our understanding. He says it's a foundation for renewal. It's the foundation of dynamic brotherhood and a feeling that like a magnet attracts. The best in us attracts the best in others. Where are we right now? How are we doing right now? So if I plan on something beautiful and then things happen, it's all the reverse. I need to go deeper to find out what's happening inside of me that is creating this, what we call non-synchronicity. I may want something, but another part of me is attracting something else. But remember, look at Jesus as our guide and model. The fact that many people didn't understand him was not his fault. He had nothing to do with it. He didn't co-create that confusion of the crucifixion. And I'm saying this because many people, they think too linearly. They think 2 + 2 = 4, but life is not linear. Has too many elements in the equation of life. Mathematically speaking, it's algorithm after algorithm. It's very complex. We can't understand it all. But we need to go deeper to understand if there are other elements in us that are creating. Maybe elements from previous lives. And that's valid. In Jesus' case, it was about our shadows. Nothing to do with him attracting it. It's about us. He was a perfect prism of God. For us, he's teaching a lesson. Work on yourself and let people be. Make sure that you are doing the best you can, and naturally people will follow through. Not because we're leaders, because there's only one leader. None of us are leaders. Only in this planet, the only leader is Jesus Christ. And we, hopefully, attempting and working and trying hard and making a lot of effort to be apprentices and good team players, co-pilots. We're not the pilot, right? Hello, Liz, Delia, and Karina. So, therapeutic moment before we continue. This is the first part of the message. Where do you think you are regarding understanding? How good are you 0 to 10. 0 to 10, understanding. Where do you think you are? 0 being not good at all, and 10 being wonderful. I'm doing great. Where do you think you are? It's important that we think about it. What do I need to do to boost my understanding? What is it? And understanding is not only about others. It's everything that happens in the mind. Regarding ourselves, God, everybody else. Everything. Where are we? Where are you? We need to ask. It's very important. This self-awareness is vital. You're feeling good? Aww. Love the hearts. Love the hearts. Love it. All of us are immersed in our own mental waves by virtue of an existing natural circuitry. Ooh, wow. Oh, wow. Bottom line, Emmanuel is saying, you and I, as we think, we're eating our thoughts. We're breathing our thoughts. When we think of others, we're like, oh, yeah, I'm just thinking of that person. No. You're eating, and I'm eating that nourishment. Oh, junk food or spoiled food. As Virginia says, like, ew, yucky, right? But that's true. It is true. We're immersed in our mental waves. So it's impossible for you to throw perfume on somebody else and not keep it in your hands. It's impossible to throw mud and not to keep some of it in our hands. Oh, but Vanessa, there's no neutrality, right? Think about it. Hello, Maria. Yes, Rita Di Cassia, we're always improving. As much as I learn, as much I can be better. I know, Karina, you are from Brazil. Brasil. Meu Brasil brasileiro. Yes, Brazil. Much gratitude to our Brazil too. And to our Puerto Rico, right, Liz Delia? And to the United States. Hello, Luciana. Yes, friends. You see, we're immersed in our thoughts, just like these beautiful waves of emoticons here. We're immersed. It's impossible to produce thoughts. In an analogy, our thoughts are just like these emoticons. We're creating, and you see, ow, I'm almost eating it. But these are going to do good and beneficial, because these are just loving hearts and, yes, laughter and enjoyment and togetherness and some tears, anger. And imagine, I'm like, yeah, you see, I'm eating, I'm immersed, just like this image of this life moment together. We are immersed in our mental waves. That's a beautiful picture for us, so we never forget. Next time we think, feel, say, and do something, visualize all these emoticons of our emotions around and being absorbed by the pores of our spiritual body, the perispirit. Chapter 13 of the book Genesis, Kardec talks about the constitution of the perispirit. It absorbs these energies, these fluids that we create. Talking about Brazil, Kardec in the chapter 14 talks about also the photography of the thought, etc. So we create these thought forms, and they stay with us in our mental body, in these layers of our spiritual body, and it's just like carnival. You know, those costumes And that's how we are, saying hello to people when we think we're dressed up like this. No. Every time we dress up to go places, think, what am I dressing up in my mental body? Interesting enough, the other day, somebody was sharing with me that a team was preparing to visit somebody who was sick in another state. And in the mediumistic message, in a mediumistic meeting, they said that they found a way to annul the presence of one of the people because the mental composition of the person would create a lot of work for the good spirits who were taking care of that sick person. So next time we visit someone, whether the person is sick or not, or we go and dress up thinking, what am I wearing now in terms of my thoughts? What are you wearing? Prada? Michael Kors? Calvin Klein? I'm not into too much of this. I don't know the latest names, but I guess these are some probably, right? Our friends from New York probably know better. Because you're there, fashion city. But talking about what are you wearing today? What am I wearing today? Is it Emmanuel thoughts? Chico Xavier's thoughts? Fashion, beautiful thoughts? Joana de Angelis thoughts? What is it? We need to be careful. Because there's no disguising. We can't. It stays there. The other spirits see it, they feel it, and even the incarnates feel it. People start resenting those vibrations that are accumulated in us, and it's gonna have reactions to it, right? So if we want to collaborate and cooperate with the world, we can start changing the fashion of our thoughts. Wearing a different designer, a different designer. Shall we? Today I'm gonna wear Happy Life from Joana de Angelis. Thoughts of Happy Life. How about it? Tomorrow, maybe when I go to the Spiritist Center, I'm gonna wear Kardec, The Gospel According to Spiritism, Chapter 9. How about it, huh? And people are gonna feel more and more joyful. Let us think about what we're wearing in the mind. Yes, new understanding. Hello, Louise. And let's sing. Rita de Cássia is ready to sing. We will. God allowing Mentor Joseph too. God bless Louise. Hello, Edivanda. Hey, our dear Mount Vernon Center here. That's wonderful. And Andrea. Now, we are immersing our mental waves. So we need to know, what am I creating? Oh my God. You see, if I pay attention to this, I have no time to pay attention to whatever is happening elsewhere. Because it's a lot of work to pay attention to what is happening here and here. We classify, now this chapter is amazing. As we talk about understanding, we classify ourselves as good or bad according to the way we use our feelings and thoughts, which are electromagnetic forces that either protect or hurt, help or damage, vitalize or destroy. Pause. Today, let us ask ourselves, do you feel you're more good or more bad? Depends. Yes. And Emmanuel is going to tell us on what it depends. And it's so important to view ourselves as somebody who is working on our own good. Why? Self-esteem, Self-esteem is about what Jesus said in the book Good News. We have the report. It's about being confident in our divine nature. No, I'm not pure, perfect, and an angel, but I'm divine. You're divine. I cannot despise myself because I made a mistake. I need a warning. That mistake is a warning saying, go deeper, analyze, not the fact, but the root. What led me to that behavior, to that feeling, to that thought, so I don't repeat. It's not about saying, I made a mistake. It's about knowing why I made a mistake. Why? Why? Why did I make that mistake? Because we make mistakes and we will make mistakes. Because we are learning. And we are allowed by God to make mistakes. But we will be happier when we identify the root cause and prevent further occurrences. So, what is it? Thoughts and feelings. Emmanuel is saying, thoughts and feelings, depending on their quality, they are going to make us feel good or bad about ourselves. Right? One more reason to analyze. How can we analyze thoughts and feelings? Breathing in and out, the relaxation breathing that Dr. Heber Benson from Harvard University gave us the opportunity with. Stop and think. Why am I feeling this irritation? Where is it coming from? Observing the physical body. What can I do to change it? Oh, I can feel it's something coming from the external, because we're mediums, because we also connect. We have past connections. And then I pray. And I say, dear Lord, please sustain me in a higher vibration. And I go do work and help. Because only, as Emmanuel said, work, the chapter on work, only when we selflessly work for the benefit of others, we will be attuning with the higher spirit. So if I want to be saved from my own bad thoughts and bad feelings, I better raise my connection. Raise it. It's low right now. Remember, internet, you have those bars. Raise the bar. How? I remember the other day, I had like a million things to do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have emails to reply and this. And Virginia was in the school for a few hours. I sat down at my desk, and Mentor Joseph said, Vanessa, you need to make a phone call. Right now? I said, right now. But I have all these things to do, and I don't have much time. Vanessa, you better call this person today. The person needs it, and you also need it. He didn't explain more, but I said, I understand. I need to make that phone call, and I did. And I don't regret a minute, and I thank him to date, because this person was thinking about committing suicide. And I'm here thinking that my to-do list is so much more important. And I wasn't aware. But the mentors know. And they are counting on us. They are counting on us as instruments. Because we say, pick me, pick me, pick me. I want to help, I want to help. When they count on us to help, we want to do our schedule, our agenda, not theirs. It's like when you go to work, the boss brings an agenda for the meeting, and you're like, we're going to discuss this. I can't believe it. Aren't we done yet with this? Well, but he's the boss. Right? He has to create the agenda. if we were the boss. And we're not the boss of life. We need to get used to listening to the voice of the good spirits and surrendering to them. The other day, he said to me, tell this person that he needs to bring some food for people in a shelter. And, I don't doubt Mentor Joseph, but I talk to him because he's not dictator. Our guardian angels, protecting spirits are not dictators. You can talk to them, not in a defiant way, but like as a student. So I said, but this friend is sick. Not like impaired, but this means cooking and also bringing to another location. He smiled because they don't take it personal. Our questions are valid. Smiled and said, trust me, relay the information to the person. So then I talked to the person. I said, how about if you weekly go there and bring some food to a shelter? Believe it or not, this person smiled and said, can you believe that a nephew of mine works in a shelter near my house? No, now I don't believe. And that's how it is. If I cannot be easy on the hands of the guardian angel, how can I fulfill God's will? It is through this divine friend, the protecting spirit, that we're practicing it. Through prayers, meditation, visualizations, and obedience. Obedience is the consent of reason in the gospel according to Spiritism, right? Yeah, Luciana, thank you for joining us. And Sunshine too. Right, friends? These are new understandings. And he's saying we classify ourselves depending on, as good or bad, depending on our thoughts and feelings. Because our thoughts and feelings are either going to produce something that is protective or hurtful, helpful or damaging, vitalizing or destroying. And then we'll feel good or bad. Okay? And here, they always return bearing the elements of happiness or unhappiness that we had given them. So when we are angry, for example, you see he talks about emotions throughout. Mentor Joseph, when we are angry, irritated, aggressive or rude, we're instigating a reflexive action of discouragement, intemperance, cruelty, and coldness. So it's impossible for us to be judgmental and create a good feeling about ourselves. Every time I am following on the traps by my old conditionings, the spirit friend says, Vanessa, you're gonna regret it. You better tame it. Breathe in and out. It's easier to allow it, but it's gonna be much better for you later if you tame it, hold it. It's not gonna help. Feelings. So I breathe in and out and I ask, okay, am I angry now? But I have to do this. It's like survival mode. I have to tell that person. I have to Wait. Is it gonna help? No. Is it gonna bring them any good? No. Well, but they need to know. But are you gonna approve of yourself if you do it? No. not that way. So then don't do it. Breathing. And when it's really hard because of old conditionings, like Emmanuel says in the other chapter, habitual anger. It's like habits, right? What's going to happen? I will incur in madness and crime, he says. Action and reaction, cause and effect. Each thought and each feeling potentially is a new ground for a new action, a new word, and our own inner classification, as he said. Good or bad. Good girl, good boy. Bad girl, bad boy. Don't we want at the end of the day to go to sleep and say, I did great. I worked hard. I surpassed limitations I didn't know. Surprises, right? Finally, he says here, on the other hand, when we're generous and understanding, being of service and useful to those around us, what we create? Happiness, tranquility, security, and cheerfulness. Haha. And you think that word doesn't exist in Spiritism? Why not? The promised consoler, Jesus, about good news. It's about the joy. It's about cheerfulness. Oh yeah, we rejoice. Yes. Joy. Yes, yes. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Right? Right? Oh, happy day when we're generous. Oh, happy day when we're understanding. And when we are of service and useful too. It's a happy day. Oh, happy day. And we create that sense of happiness, tranquility. Happy, happy, right? Right? We're happy and we create that around us. Not because we are like this, but because it's like the vessel of God's creation. We're co-creators. We're not creating obstacles. We're allowing the flow of the divine to go through us without restrictions, constrictions. Life answers us through every creature and everything according to the nature of our call. So if I call, hello, dear brothers and sisters, people are gonna feel, oh, now I am Vanessa's sibling, and aren't we all? But if somebody else is saying, no, but I just like this, and we are not, we feel discriminated against, we create that ill feeling. So people are going to reply according to what we have emitted. We attract what we have emitted. Mental reflexes. Send and receiving. I send and I receive. And St. Francis said to us, it is in giving that we receive. It is in understanding that we're understood. And it is in dying of the old man, the ego inside of us, that we actually live freely. Hello, Clara Simões, and beautiful. You see, we're creating here these beautiful waves of thoughts, currents, constructive thoughts, and we are nourishing ourselves, strengthening ourselves, so much so that we can't resist to smile. And Jesus was the smiling master, so we better emulate that characteristic of his and smile with sincerity, kindness, elegance, tenderness, generous smile. Remember in the book Good News? Generous. By the way, the whole series Good News is there available on our Cardiac Radio YouTube channel. Thanks to our friend Nay, we were able to put it up, as well as the Immortal Wisdom with Leon Denis and the 21 Days with Paul and Stephen, and now Thought in Life. Cardiac Radio has a YouTube channel. People can watch it beyond Facebook, okay? If that exists, then YouTube is there, okay? Now, until all beings reach cosmic consciousness. Now Emmanuel is revealing to us the goal of life. Reach cosmic consciousness. What is it? Did you know that Emmanuel once revealed to us that 70% of people on the earth, when they discarnate, they come back and are attached to their material concerns? How can we practice something different and not fall into that trap? What is the key word? Cosmic consciousness? How do we practice it? You know, the opposite is going to be ethnocentrism. When somebody is ethnocentric, we think that only the things we know of our culture, of our things, of our background is good and healthy and beneficial. If we want to grow above it, we need to open up to this cosmic consciousness. When we appreciate everything, but we don't limit ourselves to the things that we know. We open ourselves to things we don't know and don't understand yet. But we acquire understanding. I remember when I moved to the United States, and this Sunday we're celebrating like 19 years in the United States. But I remember when I moved here, as majority of immigrants, I had my struggles. And I remember kindly Mentor Joseph saying to me, Vanessa, study the history of the United States before you say anything. And then I immersed myself in the history of the United States. And I still do, because I don't know it all. I fell in love with it. And I said, wow, what a nation. But like every nation on the earth, it's blessed. But I'm just saying particularly now to the United States. What a nation. What a legacy for humanity. And I still to date keep digging more and more in the history, visiting the museums. If you come to Washington, D.C., we have the house of the first president near Washington, D.C. in Alexandria, George Washington. Go visit to know more about this mind that was missionary. Go to the south of Virginia, which is in Charlottesville, and to Monticello, the house of Thomas Jefferson. Many presidents were from the land of Virginia, but in spite of it all, if you go to Boston, visit John Adams' legacy, Philadelphia, Ben Franklin, and many others. Everywhere we go, the men and the women and everybody, and the landmarks of beautiful history that bring us today in this blessed soil. If you're far away, you can also dig deeper into the beautiful history of each and every country, because it's blessed. And you know, as Mentor Joseph said to me once, if there is a material jurisdiction and governance, there is a spiritual one for each nation, for each city, for each village, And people cannot come and go without spiritual permission. Without spiritual permission. So whenever you travel, think before. Like Divaldo Franco does. Joana de Angelis, do we have permission to go to that country, to that city, on that day? And you know what Joana de Angelis does? She goes ahead. She asks for the permission. And usually she asks for those who were there first, the natives. The natives, spiritually speaking, like the Native Americans, the indigenous people in Brazil, etc., to secure the location because they are the ones who are extremely connected to the soil of that land. And then Divaldo goes. But it's like two teams working together. So if you think, I'm going to travel for vacation, God, can I go there? Should I go? Am I allowed? Don't force it. We need to be persistent when the goals are benefiting everyone. But when it's something about just us, if we're not being given the opportunity, let it be. It's that balance. Food for thought. Understanding. Cosmic consciousness. Until all beings reach cosmic consciousness, they are differentiated by the light that raises them to the pinnacle of evolution and by the shadows of darkness from the suffering caused by their past. So it's like the sun bringing us up, raising us, and the abysses below us. So God sends us inspiration, we keep growing like the sunflower. But our past is still deterring us, in a way, the shadows of the pathway, the repercussions of the past. So we are attracting today consequences of actions from the past, not only in this life. Right? What do we do to undo the handcuffs of evil? This last part of the chapter, as we're wrapping up, new understanding, literally new understanding. As we are anchored in this past, the repercussions of the past, handcuffs, how do you cut it? How do you free yourself from it? Emmanuel's gonna say, and this is a recipe, we need to listen. We better have ears to listen. We must. It's not like, oh, you can, you should, you shall. You must. Seek goodness. Seek. Knock. Where is it? Yeah, where is it? Feel it. He says, seek it. Feel it. Visualize it. Mold it. With all the resources we can. So like, if I want better relationships, if I want a better feeling about myself and the world and this nation, instead of dwelling on the defects of others, because we're gonna end up absorbing those depressing images, what do we do instead? Seek goodness. Seek. It's like, where is it? Where is it? Feel it. Oh, I can already feel it. Visualize it. Therapeutic visualizations. Guided imagery. And he says, mold it. Remember, we're the farmers, the sculptors. So we need to work on it. Courage, faith, and joy. How are you feeling right now? Is it too hard? No. We're given the recipe, right? It's easier now. It's much easier. Are we in the La La Land? Vanessa, have you drunk anything? No, just the joy of the gospel. That's the pill of the day. The joy of this message. We're cheering up. Yeah, we're cheering up. It just makes us feel happy. That's how it is. Because these are good news. These are wonderful news. These are fantastic news. They're saying, if you want to be free from your past, seek goodness, feel goodness, visualize goodness, mold it. Here's the clay of life for you. As Virginia says, it's crying out of joy. She says, in Portuguese though. We're crying out of joy. These are wonderful news. Let me visualize, get a journal, and write it down. I am a child of God. I am a good professional. I am honest. I am sincere. I have good friends, and I help them every day. I have good health, even if you think you don't. But I need to visualize it. And you know, there is a true song that goes hand in hand when health is lacking. We need to sing it to create a new pattern. And I learned it from Bernadette Leal in California. Yes. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is healthy and well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is healthy and well. And she was telling us that this song is used for cancer patients. And this is not the La La Land. This is really the field, the farm of our minds. Let us plow, seek it, feel the goodness, feel it, and visualize it. Visualize people being kind to one another, being loving, being caring, looking at each other in the eyes, being compassionate and kind. Let us visualize it. Let us visualize the new government of the United States being very productive, very realistic, but at the same time, very understanding as well. Let us visualize the White House being enveloped by a beautiful light, by protection. Let us visualize the new president feeling loved. Let us visualize it, dear friends. Let us visualize it and mold it. Mold it. Let us do it and mold it. Finally, to make ourselves humble in order to help is to ensure the improvement of all. To make ourselves humble in order to help. We don't need the credits of anything, you know? I mean, we keep the credits just because, for whatever reason. But, you know, deep inside, Jesus didn't write anything. He didn't. This does not mean we are not supposed to write. But it does mean that he was not concerned about leaving his written signature, because he left his signature in our hearts. In your heart. In my heart. That's impossible to substitute, right? In the last paragraph, as we wrap up, only tireless dedication to understanding can guarantee us the necessary balance in the task of our self-improvement. We must make it our most cherished dream For only love, pure and true, can create in our minds the energy of divine light as it radiates from us into waves of constant renewal. Understanding. He says, tireless dedication to create this inner harmony. Tireless. Tireless. Understanding. Reflections. Self-observation. Coaching our emotions and our thoughts. Right? He clearly says it. So that's how we wrap up today. By the beautiful opportunity of seeking goodness, feeling goodness, and visualizing goodness as we mold goodness. And the new understanding that we're destined to progress as much as everybody else. Is it worthwhile investing on new understanding? Is it? A little difficult, but we give it a try, right, Rita? Yes, being mindful. But as he says, right, we must seek goodness. Visualize it. Let us wrap up by visualizing the world already better. No hunger. Let's visualize people in this feeling of kindness toward each other. Let us visualize in our homes greater understanding, greater compassion, patience, and tolerance. And thus we're going to be stronger to achieve what God wants us to achieve. The cosmic consciousness, which is all about love. All you need is love, love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. And that's how we wrap up. As we begin today, January 14th, a new third of the book. And we start from the beginning, the cradle. What is it all about? Let us visualize, and we're going to continue together. A hug of gratitude, kisses of joy, and trusting that we're together in this journey. 30 days of inner journey with Emmanuel, Chico Xavier, and all of our spirit friends together. Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you, Rita Di Casa and friends. Melissa, Adilson, Angelita, everyone.